Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from Dracon. Today, as you can see, we're getting back to the Shadows of Brimstone, a product of Flying Frog Production. Now, this miniature company I had reviewed in the past with the Baliel as well as the Alpha Raptor creature. And we got us a lovely set that I happened to find on Amazon for a good deal that I was like, it looks kind of cool. Now this is the enemy packs. These are like your small encounter packs, where say if your group comes across a creature fight, something along those like ideals, or at least I believe it is. I've never played the actual Shadows of Brimstone, but the miniatures, for being sprue miniatures, are quite good. Now, this one is known as the Voids, Swarm, and Void Hives. So as you can see, we're going to get us a hive and bugs. But not only that, if we switch around the back here, we get to see that there's going to be a lovely little group of them. Now, honestly, these would be great for wargaming. You could even use them for like not just D&D, like if you wanted some very aggressive bugs or you just wanted the hives. Honestly, just the hives themselves have some great detail going. And I'm going to look forward to painting those because I do have Formians, and those actually do require some like little hive-esque kind of things. And I think those are going to look really good. And there's a little symbol Flying Frog Production down there, just so you know. Yeah. So, I mean, let's read the contents here. Let me just see if I can get to zoom in there a little bit. There we go. Got the 12 Void Swarms, which is just a couple bugs each, 3 hives, 3 large record sheets, and 6 game cards. So we can see most of it here, but let's go open it up and take a look inside. Okay, so first up here we have little cards. You see they're pretty nice, pretty simple. Actually have like, the different types of high, threat, detection, high. With creatures that are in hive, that's not super unlikely. So I'm not really going to go into the cards because it's just really simple, basic stuff. We'll probably get more information from like the sheets themselves, which I'll be reading off if there's anything unique while we go over the miniatures. And then we'll do a little comparison quickly of, we'll compare it to like a standard D&D creature, just for giggles. Okay, so here we have the most of the creatures in it. These are the Formian sort of hives themselves, or the swarms, which come in different styles. So, the swarm, according to its actual sheet, because I love these sheets they come with, which let me show them quick. That's the sheet there, very quick, just to show it off. Sorry, trying to make sure I get the shot. Yeah, you got like the brutal to like your standard, and they have initiative on them, which I find very unique. Like they're small creatures. We'll read some of like this. So they have like angry cloud, buzzing flight, hateful swarm. They move 12, which is fair because they're really fast, and you can see they have some lovely sculpts. Sorry, I'm just going to get my camera to zoom in a little bit better. There we are. So you folks get a nice shot. I mean, they're very low health. Shocking. I mean, honestly, to kill a single swarm, I would say a player needs to hit, and I'm going off D&D, of course. I use that because it's my favorite tabletop in game. Not that I wouldn't try anything else. I'd say maybe like 5 points of damage is all you got to deal, and you could kill pretty much the entire swarm. Because each of these creatures might have like, a couple points of health apiece. So maybe 5 or 6. I mean, then it has a brutal version of it where it has the same stuff, but everything gets moved up a little bit bigger. Like, most of their melee and all that stuff seems to be normal looking. Oh, their combat goes to 4. And so their health triples. Okay, because they have a health of 1 according to this game, and then they actually get up to 3. So, I mean, honestly... Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. Oh. No, it looks like they're all pretty much the same on the abilities. They get 8 initiative. Chomping. So they also do. So their abilities are: they have chomping jaws, void sting, bloated bellies, glitter wings, frantic bite, and eating dark stone. Like that's pretty unique. Like these are pretty interesting creatures themselves. Now, obviously, you wouldn't have to have these be, void swarms. You could use these as any type of strange insect from D&D. Like, maybe these are giant bees. You could use those as a stand-in for giant bees. Yeah, they look aggressive in the face with the snapping jaws, but, or you could use a giant hornet, something like that. Very easy thing. Like, maybe they're juveniles and they're babies. That's why they kind of have that little weird sort of bite to them. But yeah, let's compare these guys to another creature, shall we? Another swarm, I guess we could say. Of course, that makes you do wonder. Let me just see if I... There they are. Okay, let's get them up there, and we'll check in a second here. So here we have the little guys next to some crawl-winged warriors, which, as we know, the crawl are another creature in D&D. They're very aggressive bug creatures, similar to Formians, but they have wings, and they're more fighters in the air. They're more like your kind of bee soldiers, I guess you compare them to. While Formians are more like your ants they have to fight, because they're a lot stronger and nastier, and they have that hive species thing going on. And honestly, though, I could easily see them being like juvenile Formians since they all fly. Be kind of nice. Maybe it's like a, that's their next stage. They grow up to be a full-grown Formian. They grow, opposable hands, get the spears, full wings, and more intelligent. Or maybe they grow to the next level. And that is the Formian Death Priest, which are kind of like these higher tier levels or elite Formians. Look pretty cool. I do like their little mask and the bigger spear and this bigger body. Like, they look more evolved. So, these could be a great creature to use if you're trying to boost up a Formian hive or a swarm, and maybe you just want to have, a bunch of, you could call them worker Formians or Formian drones because they're just so small. Or, crawl. Sorry, I keep saying Formian, I just realized. But crawl drones, since they're so small, and they have to work together to do the same effect as the more, as you can see, evolved crawl warriors in battle. But yeah, the crawl death priests look pretty freaking sweet, and they kind of blend in with them. But let's take another look at a different set of bugs. Now, someone might say, what about the thri-kreen? Well, I don't see these working with thri-kreen, but with other insectoid species that, hive up, works really good. So let's try the Formians, shall we? So here we have them next to a bunch of Formian drones. Now, Formians, they're more like ants. They live underground, all that stuff. The queen does have wings, but she's so big that she can never use them because she's only made to, lay eggs and not fly, even though she is kind of powerful. But yeah, these guys are basically your little drone workers. They go out to run around, do nothing except maybe die and fight if necessary. But they're mostly for work. These are the labor force. And I could easily see, these void swarms being a more, an alternate species made to be defenders, another source of, aerial defense, since there doesn't really seem to be any in Formian species. I don't really read much about, Formians having a lot of flying warriors. They have mostly these ground troops. Maybe if you wanted to make these a Formian species, maybe, they're just Formians, little Formians with wings, because they look very similar in size to a normal Formian. So, maybe they remove their legs and gain aggressive wings instead, and more aggressive teeth. So that's where their biology diverge. But let's compare them to some of the other Formian casts, so to speak. So here we have them compared up to two more types of Formians. This is actually one of the older, I believe Hasbro made these ones back in the day, the old Hasbro miniatures, which is the Formian warrior there on the left, that red warrior, and then on his right, on his left, sorry, is the Formian soldier from Pathfinder / NECA. So, it's a really good creature. It actually blends along really well. The Pathfinder one blends better with the WizKids Formian than the actual Formian of old. But that's because I think back then they wanted them to look more aggressive, the red. And since he is a warrior, maybe that's why he's red. Warrior for being aggressively red. Soldier, carrying weapons. While the Formian, as you can see, has way bigger claws for pincing. So actually it all kind of works in a sense. The colors are kind of their class notification for others. And sorry, I was just thought I saw something on the card there I didn't see for. But yeah, let's compare them though to the Queen. And there they are next to the mighty Formian Queen, the head of the Formian hive, the most important MVP of it. And you gotta say, she looks pretty good next to him. I could easily see these being her winged soldier drones or winged guardians that fly around her and keep her safe. As you can see, a female Formian Queen does have wings. So maybe at one point, these kind of things acted as a guard till she laid her hive in decided location. But yeah, she's a pretty cool creature, and I gotta say, these guys work really good next to her to make a cool hive edition, but you can also maybe include the crawlin as her guards, special guards with the crawls, and combine them together into one gigantic force. And you can see they would look pretty nice as a uniform force. They would look pretty good together as a warrior force and be a nice addition to that if you wanted to go that route. But we couldn't compare them just only to, sentient bugs. We also had to compare them to another aggressive species, the Onkeg, D&D's Onkeg. Now, honestly, yes, I could have compared this to, like, the Onkeg drone that I have as well, the Oncave drone, and what's the other one I have? Like, the Onkeg version from Reaper Bones. But since they're all large class creatures and are kind of the same thing, so to speak, like they're kind of fill-ins, we'll just compare them to the straight D&D Onkeg, because it also is the most imposing pose with a nice little base effect going on there, which, man, I wish WizKids would do more often. It makes it look cooler. But you can see easily, like, these bugs may be small, but even in number, they could probably even be a threat to something like a mighty Onkeg itself, which are very aggressive and powerful and very dangerous to the normal man. Usually only adventurers or bigger beasts take these things on. But yeah, so overall, I give these bugs a lot of great credit, but let's compare them to the hives. We're getting on to the next part, the hives themselves. So what kind of set of swarms would be incomplete without the amazing hives? Which actually, I thought, let me put one of these hives down like that so you can look at it. Yeah. So as you can see, these things are actually quite cool looking. They have a lovely design. Their plastic is a great, good hardness. Like, you're not getting a lot of flex, as you can see with these. Like, there's not a lot of flex. They're pretty solid, which is good. And, like, these pieces are very easy to assemble, which actually, I will grab the assembly sheet to show you. Yeah, very, there, easy assembly. There's not much difficulty. Pop them together, boom, cement it, you're done. Or, as I do, super glue, or crazy glue. As you can see, though, they have a lot of cool detail. Like, they look good. You could easily paint these to be different things. Maybe you want it to be like an egg birthing hive, so maybe you make one for honey, one for eggs, and maybe the other one is like a red healing pod. Or you could even paint these to be demonic hives. Like, maybe these are where, like, the eggs, the larvae pop out, like those larval soul larvae. So like that. I mean, they're multi-use, which is pretty useful. And I think, honestly, getting this thing... Now, let's get to the price, though, shall we? So, price-wise, what I spent for these things. So, the overall price for this lovely set of swarms and hives, cards, and lovely paper cards here and bigger cards, I only spent, actually, around $17.99 for these, which, in my opinion, is a pretty good investment. I mean, to buy a hive like this, probably like a secondhand from WizKids pre-painted, or like any company like that to buy a pre-painted secondhand, you'd probably be spending, honestly, around $5 per hive. I could see it, because, like, they're a set piece. And for some reason, when it comes to secondhand buying, set pieces are expensive. Terrain pieces, expensive. And the minis themselves, little fly guys, you could probably buy, honestly, they might be $1 a piece since there's 12 of them. Add another $12. Because I could see them being like that since they're a swarm. And I'm being generous because I know like bat swarms can be around $3 a piece. So I'm being generous since there's just 3 bugs in each swarm. But, that overall could have been the price they could have gone with to really screw people over. But no. I found them on Amazon for a lovely $17.99. Very great deal. Usually they'd be a little higher. I think they were normally around like 25, where I was like, oh man. But then they knocked it down to 17. So I was like, oh man, got to jump on that. And it's a pretty good deal. I mean, you're getting a lovely bit of plastic. They're not tiny. They're big. You could easily use these in any game. Like, you could throw them in Warhammer as, like, demon bugs or some type of evil creature. Heck, you could even use them for, like, a xenomorph game. Like, I know there's some xenomorph tabletops. You could use these to represent xenomorph bugs. Like, these are a different offshoot. The xenomorphs that evolved more insectoid. And these are more like guardians for the queen. And the hives are like her extra eggs she births. Like, maybe she births out the facehugger eggs, but she also releases like these small jelly orbs that pop out these bugs. And these bugs help keep the hives going. Like, they keep the I wanted to say royal jelly or the pre-patches perplode or bleh. Sorry, it's really hard to say. I don't know why. But, like, or the facehuggers injectant that they release into their host, but they could be like a hive guard / queen's guard, very unique, / giving the xenomorphs aerial forces, something they don't really have on a normal basis. Well, that is all I've got for you today, guys. I thank you for tuning in and staying for as long as you have. You've gone for the whole video. I thank you. If you haven't done so already, smash the like, in this case, swarm that like button, swarm down in the comments down below, throw a comment in there, questions, concerns, ideas, whatever you want to throw in there. Or even just a kudos. Or maybe if you found this thing to be a good idea, maybe this set looks cool to you, or maybe if you have any other questions that I didn't cover in the video, I'll be glad to answer you. As always, guys, hit the subscribe button. Helps the channel grow. Greatly appreciate. Small click for you, but for me, means a lot. And I thank you. And I'll see you all in the next box. Bye-bye.